So welcome back to another video. I hope you're well. I know I was supposed to show up last week Thursday, but on that day I honestly didn't feel up for recording a video. And sometimes you have these days, and I practice what I preach. I listen to my body, I listen to myself, and if I don't feel connected, I postpone it, and that's okay. And today I want to speak about the 3 stages of healing your relationship with food and with your body and with yourself. So if you are in a situation like I explained in the last video where you constantly crave food and you haven't really thought about the underlying root issue and where this is coming from, I want to explain you today the entire journey that I have experienced in the last, I actually calculated it earlier and I couldn't believe it, but it's probably almost 20 years. And by telling you my own story and sharing my own experience, I want to first of all show you that there is a way out of it and that you are not alone. And number 2, you have a choice of healing yourself from the inside out. So today I want to talk about the 3 stages of healing your relationship with food, your body, and yourself. So where do I start? Just to give you a brief summary, I think when everything started with me was when I was 17 years old and I really wanted to gain weight. And then all of a sudden when I hit 17, I started to gain weight, but because I was eating so much, I gained all of a sudden like something between 5 and 8 kilos. So I wouldn't even fit into my jeans anymore. And I started to feel really uncomfortable. And someone from my family, I'm not gonna mention any names, would say whenever I would open the fridge, "Oh, what are we eating now again?" And this had such a tremendous impact on me that I started the behavior of wanting to eat only when I was alone. So no one would see me when I would be eating. So this is when my personal challenge started with regards to my relationship with food and my body. And then with 19 years, I moved out of my parents' house and I moved to Berlin and I lived on my own for the first time. I would say, as this was the first time me being alone and living by myself, I would oftentimes just get some food out of boredom. I want to say from what I remember that when I was living in Berlin and I was living by myself, it was never as bad as later on in life when I started to live by myself in Cape Town and in South Germany. And I don't really know what has happened, but there was a time when I was in Cape Town, I felt really alone, especially in the wintertime, because in wintertime no one gets out of the house in Cape Town. So I was eating a lot during this time and I would be gaining a lot of weight. What means a lot of weight? I was probably gaining I was fluctuating always between 5 and 8 kilograms, but this is generally a lot for someone that's not used to it, and maybe you can relate to that. And then later on when I moved to South Germany, this is when I really struggled, because over there I really felt alone. I didn't have any family. Of course I had a couple of friends, but I genuinely felt really alone there. This was the first stage where my relationship with food and my body really, really suffered. And now looking back at the time, I know exactly why I was eating all the food. And I can tell you, especially on a Sunday, I was feeling even more alone because the shops were closed and I don't know. As I said in my last video, I really felt alone, and I would always see myself driving to the gas station to buy myself all the sweets and then eat so much until I couldn't handle any more food. And I felt extremely sick afterwards, and I would just want to throw up the food or want to get rid of it in some other way and maybe go to the gym, or the next day I would undereat to make up for what I had eaten. And this was because I couldn't handle the feeling of being alone. There is this feeling inside you of a gap, and I spoke about this in my last video, that you don't feel loved, or you don't feel appreciated, or you simply feel alone. And then you start to distract yourself with the food, and the food fills you up so much that you distract yourself from this gap, and it makes you feel better for a very short time, until you start to regret it, and until you want to balance it all out. And then a couple of days later or weeks later, depending on how you are feeling and depending on how quickly your feeling of emptiness and feeling alone is coming up again, you will repeat the pattern again. So this is the first stage of the fear of being alone, and replacing your fear with food. So then the second stage, when it comes to healing your relationship with food and your body, is not necessarily the fear of being alone. However, it is coming back to that, and I will explain you in a second. Because when I left South Germany and I moved to London, I wasn't alone anymore, and I was in a relationship, I was happy, and I generally felt good. Also, my eating behavior started to improve. However, every time we would have a discussion or an argument, it would make me feel really insecure and unsafe. And I started to worry a lot. I started to worry, what if he leaves me? Or what if he betrays me? What if, what? That doesn't mean that the person would do something like that, but in my mind I had all these thoughts, and I would worry a lot of being alone again, even though I wasn't really conscious of the fear of being alone. And ultimately this would make me end up eating all the food again, so I would start feeling secure and fill that gap that I felt in myself, to distract myself from the fear of being alone. So if you are struggling with this, and you at times you have arguments with your partner, or not even arguments, but as I said in one of my other videos, you are going out and you fear that your partner is looking at other women, and you don't have that confidence and that security within you, then you might start to seek comfort in food. So you fill that gap inside you and distract yourself from the feeling and the fear of being alone. So now I'm coming to the third stage of healing yourself, which I'm consciously saying to heal yourself, because at that point I already healed my relationship with food and my body. I reached my goal weight. I was feeling confident in my body. I was feeling good in my body, and guess what happened? I would still not feel secure. I would still not feel loved. I would still not feel appreciated. And I felt extremely insecure. So if you believe that reaching your goal weight or having the perfect body is going to be the solution for you to feel secure and confident, then you are absolutely wrong. And I know that because I've gone through it. And I want to tell you that you have to do the inside work. And with this, I want to show you that I have come to a stage where I did heal my relationship with food and my body. I was feeling confident in my body. However, the insecurity didn't stop. And the only way I started to heal my insecurity, and today I'm in a position where I'm absolutely good of being alone. Like, I have so much trust in myself and in God and the universe, or whatever you want to call it, that I'm okay. Like, I know, I have this deep knowing that I am okay. I'm not scared anymore of being alone. And this last part of my journey, that where I healed myself, I would say is this was the core issue of everything. And a very good friend of mine who also has helped me to get to where I am today, she said to me, Mai, the day you are not scared anymore of being alone, you are invincible. And I'm getting goosebumps saying this, but this is so true. And my wish for you is to get to that point of not having to fear anymore of being alone. This is coming from your past, and if you keep finding yourself of distracting yourself with food to fill that gap, and you are not feeling confident, you are not feeling secure, you keep comparing yourself with other women, and you keep worrying that your partner is looking for other women, or you are scared that he will leave you and you end up of being alone, then I invite you to really look inward and start doing the work. And you have the choice. You have the choice to work on yourself. You have the choice to develop and learn ways that will help you to feel confident and to feel more secure. You can learn to regulate your nervous system, and you can learn all the ways to get to the point where you are not scared anymore of being alone. And if this is a way that you want to achieve, then I invite you to go to my website www.mspire.co.uk, and you can sign up for a free initial consultation where you can get to know me, and we can discuss how I can help you to get out of the cycle so you can feel confident and secure. And I hope you have a wonderful evening, and I will speak to you soon. Take care.